guys, it's Joel and welcome back to the channel. Today you join me in sunny Cyprus in my fantastic hire car. As you can probably see from the title, this is not a fantastic hire car, and it is in fact probably the worst car I've ever driven. But I thought it'd be good fun to make a video with this car in spite of that, just for laughs, and tell you guys a little bit why it is so awful. So then, why is this car so terrible? Well, it firstly starts with the outside. As you can see, it's not been the most nicely looked after example of a Ford Focus. I don't actually know what year this is. I would imagine it's around 2011, something like that, so around 7 years old or so. Yeah, it's not the best looking example. Obviously, again, it's a rental car, so you can't really expect that it's been looked after very well. However, yeah, it's probably one of the worst looking cars I've ever driven, that's for sure. These lovely hubcaps are certainly not something to be desired. But anyway, most of my issue with this car is actually in the drive itself. So let's hop back in and I'll talk to you a little bit why this is just the worst car I've ever driven. So the first thing you'll probably notice about this car, which is very different from my car, which is a Z4, is it's an automatic gearbox. Now I decided to get an automatic gearbox when I hired a car because it's just easier to drive, especially in a hot country. It just saves the clutch and the gears, as you can imagine. But it is also, as you can imagine, a very terrible gearbox, and a very clunky one too. If I say want to put my foot down, it takes a little while for it to sort of kick in. So let me demonstrate that for you now. I want to accelerate and I want to floor it. Then it goes. And it does, you know, it does go relatively quickly, but it's not exactly instant. It also has a sequential mode, which is key. But this is even slower than when it's in D mode. So upshifts, I'm gonna go relatively quick. Downshifts, however, are shocking. This is me downshifting to third. It's downshifted. Second, it's now downshifted. And first is the worst. Now it's downshifted into first. That is the worst, the slowest gearbox I've ever used in my life. It is quite hilarious. Now, if you're in the comments shouting at me going, what do you expect? You've got a Ford Focus hire car and it's an automatic and it's not going to be a good gearbox, then fair enough. Yeah. You're not wrong there. I'm about to crash. Yeah, you're not wrong. It is not going to be the best gearbox. It clearly wasn't designed to be fast. However, that is not the worst thing about this car. The worst thing about this car is the handling, because it's non-existent really. There's absolutely no feel in the steering. At high speeds it feels dangerous because the car shakes like this. The wheels literally shaking and vibrating so much at around motorway speed. It's quite scary. But yeah, the funniest thing is when you try and push this around a corner, you feel like the whole thing is just going to blow over. There's, like I say, no feel, there's no grip, and the whole thing is just a bit of a disaster really. So, once these slow coaches get out of my way, oh, for bloody hell, they're going that way. Once I find a bit of open road where I can thrash it a little bit and stick this thing round a corner, I shall show you. So here we go. I'm going to give it everything. Yeah, we're wobbling all over the place there. Okay, here's a tight right-hander, although we're stuck behind. Oh my goodness gracious. Really? Right, so this is what happens when you plant it around a corner. Yeah, we're gonna wobble over, we're gonna wobble. And we're back on all four wheels. Yeah, it's not the safest, most reassuring feeling steering, that's for sure. So then, the acceleration is another thing which is pretty shocking on this car and makes it awful to drive. You might be shouting at me again, so I drive a 3-litre Z4, so obviously going to be quicker and I'm used to something relatively quick. But this thing does feel very slow, and I'm actually just going to find out how slow it is by doing a 0 to 60 test. So let's put it into launch mode. Joking, it doesn't have launch mode. And 3, 2, 1, boop. 2 elephant, 3 elephant, 4 elephant, 5 elephant, 6 elephant, 7 elephant, 8 elephant, 9, 10, 11, 12 seconds. Yes, 12 seconds to 100 km/h. That was quicker than I thought, I have to say. 12 seconds to 60 is a damn sight faster than I thought it would be. But as you can probably tell, that's a lot slower than what I'm used to, and therefore it does feel very slow. It's the mid-end sort of grunt as well, which just isn't really there. But you know what? That wasn't too bad. But, you know, it's not exactly got that sports car performance. So, as you may have noticed, I'm back again today in the heat of the midday sun, because there was one other thing I forgot to mention to you when I filmed the video yesterday about why this car is so atrocious to drive, and that is the brakes. It was actually the first thing I noticed that were awful on this car, and somehow I forgot to mention it yesterday, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning it today. The brakes are shocking. There's no other way to put it. They pull to one side when you slam the brakes on, and yeah, it doesn't feel safe, to be honest. You've just got to allow so much time, especially at high speeds, to stop, and that's definitely, it means you can't have a fun time driving this. I've got to be honest though, they're a lot better now that I'm just by myself in the car. They were particularly atrocious when the car was full of my mates and all of our stuff, which obviously makes sense. More weight means longer stopping distances. But yeah, regardless, they're still very, very bad. I mean, if I slam my brakes on now, it's not exactly ripping my face off, which is what you want, really. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that today. The brakes are bloody shocking. So, what amenities do we have in here? Well, actually, it's pretty basic, but it's not too bad. We've got electric windows, and I can let go and it carries on doing it, and it also does that when I put them up. How exciting. We have got cruise control here. It doesn't work, so thanks for that, Europe car. You guys are rubbish. And we've got a CD player, state-of-the-art CD player. I haven't seen those in cars for about 10 years now. However, this thing does have an aux input, which has been very useful, because I like to play my tunes. Apart from that, do you know what? This thing's got cup holders. My Z4 doesn't have cup holders, so that is definitely one up on the Z4. And we've got an abundance. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't count. There's tons of cup holders, so that's a big thumbs up. And you know what? I am slagging this car off a lot, and the whole premise of this video is to slag off the car. However, I have to say, the plastics in here do actually feel quite expensive. They don't feel cheap, that's for sure. This stuff does, but the main dash material and the wheel material does actually feel quite nice. And also, this car has been extremely comfortable. I've not had any back problems. Neither have my 4 friend or my 3 friends that I'm here with. We've all actually found this rather pleasant to cruise around in. And actually, when you're in a hot country like Cyprus in the summer, all you're really concerned about is that the air conditioning works, and it does. So, with all that said, and with this whole video about being me finding reasons I hate this car and it's the worst car I've ever driven, it's not ever so bad. And if you do have a Ford Focus out there, sorry, to start with, I don't think they're shocking. I think this is a particularly shocking example. As I mentioned earlier, the exterior clearly shows it hasn't been looked after properly, and yeah, the way it drives, and clearly the suspension and everything hasn't been looked after as it should have been. So that's more on the hire car company really, which is Europe car, which have been quite bad, but we'll go into that another time maybe. So yeah, that's more down to the hire car company. I'm sure Ford Focuses are great cars most of the time when you look after them, so I am sorry if you're offended. Take this video with a pinch of salt. It's meant to be a bit of fun. It's probably the worst car I've ever driven, but that is because of the handling predominantly, which, as I say, isn't all down to the car, I'm sure. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video nonetheless, guys. If you have, make sure to leave it a like. Comment below if you're offended, or if you want to let me know anything else at all, or if you want to see other content like this, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, because we are growing quickly and it won't be long now until we can hit 3, 4, maybe 5,000 subscribers, which will be awesome. So thank you so much everyone for watching, and I will see you very soon.